Guru, Iboya, Bucheche, everybody in Cyberland. Hey, super excited, super pumped, because I get to do another video for you. And that means more questions, that means more comments, and guess what? That means that I can answer it. And sometimes I even get stuck, and I get to reach out to my other brothers, and I get to ask questions, and we all learn, right? We all learn, we all teach, and we all grow together spiritually. So something that I really wanted to talk about today was a question that was posed to me. I had someone who's in the stages of preparing themselves to receive their warriors and receive their Manga Arura. And they asked me, hey, what should I know? What should I do? Or is there something, that I should truly be paying attention to? And I began to reflect, over a decade ago for me, but I began to reflect on when I went through those ceremonies, when I was somewhat not as adverse as you would imagine someone would be, and to be where I'm at today, which is I have the blessings of Ifa, thanks to my godfather, and I was able to cross over into this new spiritual journey that I'm in today. But what are the fundamentals? What are the rules? I can definitely go into the rules of what a Ba'alao is and what are the 16 fundamental rules of a Ba'alao, but I don't think that's the point of this video. I can definitely go into, what is a santero, an orisha, what is a oriete, an oba, but I think we get ahead of ourselves when we start talking about all these entities, all these masters of ceremonies, all these kind of positional type powers that we have running around our faith. And we maybe need to focus on some of the beginnings. So here's what I offer you. What is la regla de ocha? What is Ifa? Okay? Obviously, we all understand that the Muslim and the Christian Crusades, they kind of destroyed what we know Africa to be 1,000 years ago or so. Okay, it's just not the same. Okay, we also understand that the slave trade brought many slaves to the Caribbean, to the United States, to Europe, to South America. Okay, we know those things to be true. We also understand through history that there was many Ba'alaos that were taken from Africa and shipped even into Cuba, okay? But they came in many times as free men. They came in as, they were earning their freedoms, but they were more house slaves more than laborers. And there was a hierarchy of slaves back in the day. Unfortunately, slavery, very unfortunate thing, but it was something that happened, and it's part of our history. So let's think about it, right? So Africa gets wiped out. We have a lot of major religions that are enforcing their wills. Just that and the other, slave trade occurs. The Ifa faith was preserved, and we'll use Cuba because Cuba is one of the prevalent places right now that is practicing. A lot of what comes out of our faith is coming out of Cuba because Cuba was the leading place that took rise and everyone kind of branched out from it. Okay? I want you to think of this. And many of us have heard of the 7 African powers, the siete potencia africana. When you hear that, okay, you also got to understand where the history is. We're not just talking about entities, we're talking about land. Back in Africa, they had a thing with distance, they had a thing with trust, they had tribes, and every tribe represented a different ocha. And so you would have somebody who was in the tribe of Chango, and guess what? When they got crowned, they receive a Chango, they receive an Elewa. If you went down to another tribe, right, maybe hundreds of miles away, there was a tribe of Ochum. You get crowned Ochum, you get an Elewa, you were done. It was only then, that those tribes, because they were transported together to Cuba, that they were able to create something beautiful, something called La Regla de Ocha. Okay? Because you have the Regla de Ocha, it is no mystery that that's not something that came out of Africa. No one can tell me that. All my personal studies and my perspective on the matter today, unless someone tells me otherwise, did not come out of Africa. Was it a bunch of African slaves that created it? Yes. Did they work together in unity to create something beautiful? And not only create something beautiful, but something that works, a legitimate religion. And some may even argue it's not a religion, it's a faith. I say it's whatever you want it to be. La Regla de Ocha is a beautiful thing. You had priests and priestesses of Ochumi and Maya and Chango gathering together. They're all like, hey, we've never been this close together, and now we're on an island, we're all working together. Let's create something beautiful. This is how we throw a coco to this. Ocha, this is how we, consecrate this one. This is what we do. This is how we do. And it happened. And it was beautiful. It was Babayo Bemeye that talks about evolution, the intelligence, the mind. Gets you excited, it gets you pumped. The hairs on my arm go up just thinking about it. No one could ever take that away from La Regla de Ocha. They did exactly what Ifa said should be done. Okay? That's La Regla de Ocha. Okay? That's the history. Let's talk about Ifa. Ifa, we talk about a lot of people that talk about Lukumi. We talk people that say La Regla de Ifa. There's people that say traditional, diaspora, afro-cuban, afro-caribbean. I've heard a lot of different essences, right? And a lot of times, let me be honest with you, you know what it comes down to? Colors. And it's the colors don't even have a huge representation either, because they represent the light, the good, the pact between Orula and Iku, which is death, another divinity. So when we think about those things, Ifa didn't necessarily change. Ifa also evolved. And here's where the controversy begins. And I have a lot of traditional Babalaos that I know, good friends of mine, and I will be the first to say, I respect traditional Ifa. Traditional Ifa works. Okay? If traditional Ifa is a religion, traditional Ifa, they are doing it the way they know how to do it. And it works. It's their religion. It's fine. When the Babalaos from Africa came over, some as slaves, some as not, okay, they evolved Ifa no different than how we created La Regla de Ocha. Okay? They morphed the colors, yes. Our foundations in Ifa maintain the same. We study the Odums the same. But we have evolved it to a point of more thorough understanding. We took it away from a place that in some essences of villages were barren. Okay? Some of them didn't have the herbs and the ingredients and the animals and the knowledge. But it was all the Babalaos from Africa that made it together to Cuba that were able to collectively put their minds together and evolve Ifa to what it is today. Now, there is a lot of unity in the traditional side and the afro-cubano side, Lukumi and diaspora, whatever you want to call it. There is, and it's getting better. It's getting better. There was a big delineation between the two at one point in time, I will not lie. And I think it's lack of understanding. Lack of acceptance, at least. If I knew that my faith originated from one place but grew up in another, and now I am not necessarily following those rules, it kind of sounds like a parent and a child, right? The child begins to grow up, has their own children, they want to raise it. The mom and the dad are like, hey, I want you to raise it like this, which are the grandparents, right? And they get that conflict. Not understanding that times have changed. Things have evolved. Okay? It's very important to understand that. It is very, very, very important to understand that. So again, no disrespect to anybody on the traditional side. I respect all religions. I respect all faiths, and I definitely respect individual faith. Because I would tell you that this faith that we study, whether it's the regla de ocha, whether it's Ifa, whether it's Palo, okay? Your faith is 50% of the work. The other 50%, and you've probably heard me say this in other videos, comes from the knowledge and understanding and the ceremonial aspect of things, the technical aspect. Okay? Makes sense. The reason why I want to make that clear is because a lot of people believe my faith is going to take me far. Absolutely. Yes, it will. Okay, it will. However, if I told you that my computer broke down, okay, and I got all the faith in the world to fix that computer, but I have no technical skills at all dealing with computers, is that computer going to get fixed? We gotta use the logical aspect of things. My last video on a Woody Made talked about the logical thinking. You gotta look at life for what it is. And you gotta use that intelligence that Olodumare has blessed us with. Okay? We all have an ori, we all have a path, but we need to use that a little bit more, people. A little bit more to understand those things. For example, there's people that want to do an adimu. And they say, hey, I want to do an adimu to Chango. I want to do an adimu to Obatala. I want to do an adimu to Ochun. Okay, great. Go do it because that comes from the heart. 50% is you. The other 50% is the technical aspect of things. If you want to get something to Ochun, go to the river. You want to get something to Yemaya, go to the ocean. Those are where they live. If you don't have access to those things, then you find somebody, a santero, a babala, who can mark something for you in order for you to ensure that adimu gets to where it needs to get to, so that you can give thanks and love to that orisha or that ocha. Okay? Those are some of the fundamentals of the faith that I need people to understand as well. Okay? The other big thing that I truly believe is there are rules and there's set guidelines that are there that should never be violated. For example, if you're going to go to the house of a santero or a santera, you're going to put yourself in front of an orisha or an ocha. Women have to have a skirt, a long white skirt. It doesn't change. It doesn't have to be white. I got hijas or and they want the colors. And listen, I'm not judging, but you have to have a long skirt. I'm not worried about the color, because it's out of respect of the ocha, out of respect on what a woman represents, and that's why she has to have a long skirt. Okay? You should have a head covering. Okay? Should be white. Men, personally, I've seen many men, but I hold men in high regards as well. You're a man. Walk as a leader. You should probably have a white shirt on if you're going to throw yourself in the foot of a divinity. Absolutely. You should also have a hat on. Okay? Now, you see me with my hat on. You sometimes see me without it off. It's very rare when you see me without it off. I'm not presenting myself in front of divinity, but I have the respect to put it on at least while I'm doing a video, so that I can lead from the front. Be a good example. It's those small things. It's the small things. All right? So I want to make sure that I kind of reinforce some of those fundamentals, because I think it's important. And I think it's important for everyone to ensure that they're following the right things. All right? So with that said, I wanted to just give you something back that gives you a little bit of history, a little bit of fundamentals, and a little bit of the basic rules of things. Within the regla de ocha, la regla de Ifa, okay? So please, share this video. Leave me comments. Shoot me an email. La regla de Ifa at Gmail with dots in between. So la.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com. Or you leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. I read them all. I read them all. If I haven't read your comment and you left me a comment, I'm sorry. Shoot me another comment, I promise you. I won't miss it again. But with that said, Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche, everybody, Cyberland, the faith I love. And I talk passionate about it because it's something that I eat, I sleep, okay? And I live. Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche.